She's royal. Okay, I wanted to go in with that song, but trust me, the key wasn't flowing well. I still have Deidre with me, Deidre Powell. She is a lawyer mediator, and also she's the author of Tell Me a Story, Grandma. And if you missed the first part of the show, she told us so much about why this inspired her. You know, it's a faith-based story for her grandson, and you could always check her out on Instagram. You can go online, Deidre, that's Deidre Powell. That's Powe. LL. Okay, all right. So that's Deidre Powell, and we're talking a lot about that. But right now we are on our community discourse, and now earlier on I mentioned that she's a lawyer, she's a mediator, and talking about what things happening in our community. We know that recently the Regina City Council that has moved closer to implementing Safe Public Spaces Act, and at the same time, over time in Saskatchewan, we've been talking about drug abuse among youths. And I know that Deidre is someone who is passionate for you to write a story for your grandson. You're passionate about the future generation.
I am.
Especially in Regina, in Saskatchewan, or wherever they are. You know, there's this passion that you have for them, making sure that they have a brighter future. And we're seeing this rise in it. What has been your experience, or what has been your observation of this drug abuse and for youths in Regina, Saskatchewan?
Okay, so for me, I have a lot of clients who are dealing with difficulties, and that's because of the access to drugs too easily, and it's everywhere. And so because of that, I will have young mothers, young people coming in, and sometimes they come to get legal advice, and I can't even take instructions because they're high. And so I believe that drugs is just way too accessible around town, and it bothers me. And so I wish we had more programs that will go and start from as early as the elementary school, the high schools, and let people know about the risk of even trying these drugs from as early as high school, so that will prevent them from even thinking of even trying it. We don't want them to even try and become hooked. So that is one of the things that concerns me a lot here.
Okay, now talking about, because we're dealing with things happening in our community, and this affects you, it's concerning. I mean, not even for you, for lots of people, it's concerning. You're trying to raise a child in a particular community, and then you see some of these things going on, and you're saying you don't want this to happen. You talked about the fact that you feel that a lot of access to the drugs has made it, you know, a bit alarming for lots of people. But you've also had situations where even without the access, people still have access to drugs. So yes, it's like, okay, yes, there's an open access to it, but it doesn't still limit people from accessing drugs. So what do you think are some of the challenges? Because aside from just having access, people still go into drugs. So what are some of the reasons why you feel people fall into that?
Because of their experiences, their lived experience, and they feel the need to escape. I escape in my writing, but for a lot of people, they don't use that as their therapy. When they're hurting, they go to drugs. And not only that, when they experience homelessness, when they are experience abuse, then they go to these things to help them to cope. And so my concern is why they want to bring in more policing, more stricter rules to deal with this. I think what we should be looking at is more programs to help the people who can't help themselves.
What kind of programs are we looking at?
So I am thinking education about the effects of drugs. And not only that, I'm also thinking that with Rotary Club of Regina, of which I'm a part, what we could do is have other means or other activities to keep people, especially youth, engaged in other activities rather than them looking for those kinds of ways of expressing themselves. So I'm hoping that different community groups can come up with activities to encourage them, children, to stay on the right path and to help them heal the hurt and the pain that they're experiencing.
So in other words, this act that's coming from Regina City Council, that's an act giving police power to seize street weapons, including hypodermic needles. You are against this. You don't feel that this is necessary.
So it's not that I don't think it is necessary, because I'm sure as a parent, we are all concerned about what over-policing and the effects of this act, what could end up happening. But at the same time, I think we need to have more robust ways of dealing with these things. So if you're going to come with acts and rules, we need to have things in place to balance the equation, so that you'll have children and families knowing these are the programs that are available to ensure that we don't fall prey to these the effects of the laws that are coming in. So I think we want to protect our public spaces, yes, but is this going to make it even more difficult for the people who are already displaced and already traumatized? What are the different programs that we can put in place to navigate the situation that is that is happening right now in these spaces? So I know that they hope that these rules and these fines and whatever repercussions that they're putting in place, they think that that will make it even better. But I almost feel like that is without community support. I think we are going to make things worse for those who are already suffering. That's my concern.
Now, you've dealt with lots of people who are being traumatized, people dealing with family issues. Among the youths, what's a peculiar thing among them? What's a peculiar thing among them, the youths? What you're going through, what you feel is also causing trauma among them?
Well, for the youths, they are experiencing what their parents have experienced, and so it's almost a cycle. Their father was abused, and so their children, the mothers and fathers are now abusing their children, and it's just going down generation to generation to generation. And so what we want to do is to stop the cycle, and to stop the cycle we have to go into schools, we have to go into homes, we have to have programs, we have to educate the parents so that they can try to stop that cycle. But the youth, they're already experiencing it, and most times their parents don't know any better. And if the parents don't know any better, and the children are being exposed to this, then it's not going to get better. And so we have to start going into the schools and start there to teach them a better way of being and to try and break that cycle. It's not easy.
No, it's not.
It's not. I know it's not easy, but how do we get the children to see that they don't have to repeat the cycle? How do we empower them? Perhaps by getting them to even write their feelings out. Start writing their feelings out, going into schools and helping them to express these emotions in writing, whether stories, whether poems, because like I said, I find it healing for me. So maybe it will be healing and therapeutic for them to express themselves there rather than trying to escape what they're experiencing. I have a poem called Naomi, and it's about Naomi who is listening to the fight and the trauma. Her father is abusing her mother and what she's thinking. And I have a poem about that.
Do parents even realize the effect that this has on their children? Do parents realize that?
I don't think so, because they themselves are just trying to do the best they can. And a lot of times when I speak to clients, they they tell me I'm doing the best I can. And so when they come to me, I try. I have had clients who come to me, and I have them for 2 years before I make I put in an application for them, because I'm working with them and I'm encouraging them. Nobody sees that side of our work because it's not in a court application, but it's my discussions with them. I encourage them, keep going, go to therapy. Yes, I'm proud of you. You're 10 days sober. You're 20 days sober.
And all this encouragement helps them.
Yes, you're 10 days sober. You're 20 days sober. You're 1 year sober. Yes, these are the programs that you're doing. And I keep working with them. And then when they get to a point where they're strong, then I put in the application and I put forward to say, my client has done this work. My client is 1 year sober. My client is also a mentor to other parents, and I encourage them to mentor other people to show them that they can break the cycle. So most times people only see the judgment at the end. They don't know the work that we put in as legal aid lawyers behind the scene to empower our clients to be better.
For those who are not able to get better, what happens to them?
So for those who are not able, they end up on the streets, and most times they get supervised access for their kids, because a part of my job is to make sure that whatever outcome of a case is in the best interest of the child. So there are times when my clients come to me and I want to see my client, my daughter, I want to see my son. And I can't, in all honesty, put in that application if I have someone who is high in front of me. And so most times I say, go into treatment, go into therapy, get counseling. And we have a list of resources that we refer clients to. And so we have to also think of the child. And so there are times when we are heartbroken, and the Ministry of Social Services have to take this child over and place the child in another family. And while I feel the pain for my client, I also know it's in the best interest of the child to be placed with another.
The families that they put them with, is they always safe? Like, do you think that that's also the best approach for a child who is going through trauma?
It's a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
So there may be another family that can provide safety and joy and protection for this child. More often than not, the ministry tries to find people who can do that. And if my client has a family member that can be there, then we usually say, put forward that family member who can provide the support. And most times we do that.
Does community play a role in all of this?
Of course. If we see a family member, or we see a neighbor who is failing, it is our duty to step over and say, how can I help? I don't know if you...
The reason why I said it is that sometimes the rules might apply here in another country. Like in Africa, you say a community trains a child. For example, that applies to you also.
In Jamaica.
Okay, you see a child going wrong, you say, okay, the community will help raise the child. But over here, the rules might not necessarily apply. Is it something that we can also infuse here in this, this multicultural community in a way?
Yes.
Is that something that's feasible?
That is something we can work on as a community. And I think we can start with clubs, but it will be weird if I don't know you and I just appear and start talking to you. It's not going to work like that. But if we have activities that we participate in and we interact with each other every day, and if we're meeting with people, then we will be, the other person will be open to listening to you and will welcome your support. But if we don't interact with each other, then it's not going to work. And here in Canada, it's not as strong as in Jamaica and in Africa.
Yeah.
Right. And so we need to start developing that and have more community programs, have some of us going into the schools and having a chat with people, having activities, going to the park and having activities there, barbecues, and access community here. I'm sure
Definitely.
they have different things happening around town, and so when we go out and we reach out to each other when these things are happening, that's when we can have a closer knit community. And Regina is small enough that we can we see each other more often than we would in the bigger cities, and I think we need to be a little bit more open to sharing and stopping and saying hi to each other. I think
and being more closer.
Being more closer, and then that way we will start paying attention to each other and not just passing each other and not feeling and empathizing with each other.
You know, one of the cultural shocks that my husband said when he came here, you know, in Nigeria and Africa, you have lots of people on the road and people will say hi to you,
Oh, yes.
like, whether they know you or not. Good morning, good evening. But over here, it's more like, okay, everyone's minding their business. Do you think it also affects, like, for lots of immigrant families, I believe this also affects them not having that close-knit community or family, not having friends that they can talk to?
Yes.
I mean, if your children are having issues, or there's even no one that they can turn into.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I think here in Canada it's different. It's different from Jamaica and Africa. But I think what we need to do is to start building that again. For me, I don't know if you know of Auntie Maggie's restaurant on 13th Avenue. It's a Jamaican restaurant.
Oh, okay.
I just go there and adopt Auntie Maggie. Auntie Maggie is now my auntie.
So it's like home away from home for you.
It's my home away from home. Sometimes I go there and I sit and I eat my dinner there and I have a chat with Auntie Maggie, because I'm creating that same space for myself. And honestly, I want to know that if there is any Jamaican, any immigrant here in Regina, feel free, give me a call. I will be there.
Okay, now this is Auntie Deidre talking.
Auntie Deidre, Grandma Deidre.
Okay. Pardon me, Grandma Deidre. Okay, let's give you a lot, just in case you missed it. You know, she's the author of the book Tell Me a Story, Grandma. Is a faith-based book for her grandson and for all lots of children out there. You can always, if people want to have access to the book, how can they do that?
So it's on Amazon, it's on my website, and you can also connect with me by WhatsApp, 613-695-8777. And you can just request a copy, a signed copy of my book, and I'll be happy to ship it to you. It's available, 613-695-8777.
Okay, and in case you missed out on the number, you could always go to our Instagram page. You can go to our website, and the website is what again?
DeidrePowell.com, DeidrePowell.com.
Okay, now we're still learning about our roots quickly. What's the word of the day for today?
My word of the day is resilience.
Okay, and why resilience?
Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties or adapt well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, or stress.
Yeah.
And a lot of my poems talk about that.
Okay.
Because I'm exposed to it, and I write about being resilient. Still I rise. And a lot of and there is a poem called Ever Rising, and that is because we all need to be resilient regardless of what difficulty we face.
Definitely, that's the word for today, resilience. And that's Deidre from Jamaica. Her husband's in Uganda. I'm going to ask a very tricky question right now, because you said
tricky.
You said just quickly, because you said you've been to Uganda. So what's your favorite Ugandan meal? Let's see.
What's the name of it?
Okay, Najib is going to help her out
Najib, now. The one with no.
Okay. Time starts now.
Tell me the name with the X. Yeah.
Rolex.
Rolex.
Okay.
Do you know? Explain to them what is Rolex.
So Rolex is like when you get wheat flour and make like a flat bread, and then you get eggs, fried eggs, and you roll them into that, and then you eat. It's like the best thing you can have in your life.
Okay.
It's almost like roti from Jamaica, but it's but in Jamaica we wrap curried goat in a wrap. In Uganda, I used to have Rolex for my breakfast because it's eggs wrapped in that wheat.
Okay, so what is it wrapped in the roots there? I'm sure that's another thing again. Food also links you up to your home roots. Yes. Definitely. Once I have something from home, I'm always happy. So it's a good thing. And that's Deidre Powell. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. So far, so good. 1 hour is already fast spent. Najib, also thank you also for joining us on the show. Now, there was something she said when I was trying to look for a song. She was like, 3 little birds. So we're going to end with a theme here. She said resilience, and we are also saying don't worry about the theme right here. We'll be back again next week, Saturday. Don't forget to always check it out on our book, Deidre Powell. You could also look at me on my Instagram page at The 9 Joshua with Rita. Until next week, well, will I say don't worry about a theme?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Deidre say don't worry about a thing. I would say be resilient.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.